Clockwork Orange, 1971. Stanley Kubrick had his assistant destroy all unused footage. The doctor standing over Alex as he is being forced to watch violent films was a real doctor, ensuring that Malcolm McDowell's eyes didn't dry up. The snake, Basil, was introduced into the film by Stanley Kubrick when he found out Malcolm McDowell had a fear of reptiles. When Malcolm McDowell met Gene Kelly at a party several years later, the older star turned and walked away in disgust. Kelly was deeply upset about the way his signature from Singing in the Rain had been portrayed in A Clockwork Orange. Alex performing Singing in the Rain as he attacks the writer and his wife was not scripted. Stanley Kubrick spent 4 days experimenting with the scene, finding it too conventional. Eventually, he approached Malcolm McDowell and asked if he could dance. They tried the scene again, this time with Malcolm McDowell dancing and singing the only song he could remember. Kubrick was so amused that he swiftly bought the rights to Singing in the Rain for $10,000. Stanley Kubrick's first cut ran almost 4 hours long. According to Malcolm McDowell, the sped-up sex scene was originally filmed as an unbroken take lasting 28 minutes. During the filming of the Ludovico scene, Malcolm McDowell scratched one of his corneas and was temporarily blinded. Although he's playing a 15-year-old, Malcolm McDowell was actually 27 at the time of the filming. The final scene was done after 74 takes. Malcolm McDowell chose to play Alex speaking in his normal Northern English accent instead of a Cockney accent. McDowell felt his softer accent would strike an interesting contrast with Alex's menacing personality. The car used by Alex and his droogs was the Adams Probe 16, one of 3 ever made. The Korova milk bar was the only set built for the film. Korova milk bar is named after the Russian word for cow. Moloko, written on the wall, means milk. The bar's sculptures were based on the works of sculptor Alan Jones. Stanley Kubrick had the milk dispensers empty, washed, and refilled every hour as the milk curdled under the studio lights. Filming the rape scene was so difficult that the actress originally cast for the role had to quit, and was eventually replaced with Adrienne Khoury, who was said to have been furious with Kubrick for the scores of takes he required to get the infamous scene. Feeling it should have been done swiftly, McDowell, however, has stated that Khoury was very game throughout the brief but difficult role during the film. The film was released just over a year after principal photography began, the fastest film shot, edited, and released by Stanley Kubrick. One of only 2 movies rated X on its original release to be nominated for Best Picture at the Academy Awards. Of the 11 adaptations that Stanley Kubrick worked on in his career, this is the least modified from its original source material. Stanley Kubrick's first solo screenplay, one of the highest grossing films of 1971. Stanley Kubrick said in an interview that he considered the prison chaplain to be the most sympathetic and morally admirable character in the film. In the music shop scene, there is a list of top 10 music bands up in the wall. One of the bands listed is Heaven 17, which one of the girls mentions to Alex. This was a real band later on in the 1980s.